Hi everybody, it's Kim from Teen World Confidential. As you're well aware, we are going through a little bit of a health crisis in our country and around the globe right now, the coronavirus, also known as COVID-19. Now, I know it's kind of a scary time, and a lot of times fear comes from a place of the unknown. We don't really know what to do, and we don't feel like we're in control, and that can be kind of scary. That transfers down to what our kids are viewing and what they see us doing and how they see us react. And it's really important that we are a great example for our young people when it comes to how do we handle crises when they are here. So I want to share a couple of ideas that I think will kind of help your family and help you maybe kind of take a deep breath, and we can move forward with COVID-19 with a healthy attitude, even though it is a bit scary, and I understand that there's so much we don't know about this virus, but there are ways that we can circumvent some of the stress. Now, as a former nurse, one of the things I learned in nursing school 100 years ago was prevention, prevention, prevention. And the best way to do that is to wash your hands all the time. It was drilled into my head all through nursing school. Ask any of my friends. I wash my hands all the time. Am I a germaphobe? No, I just know stuff. So now is a really great time that we're reintroducing this incredible skill. Of course, we talk about it during cold and flu season. And when I was an elementary school nurse, oh my gosh, we would have the kids, as soon as they walked in the office, wash their hands. And before they left, wash your hands. That's something that we've always instilled in students. But it never really got the attention it's getting right now with coronavirus. And that's really a shame. This is something that should be happening anyway. So let me explain real quick the difference between washing your hands and the gel sanitizers. They both work. However, washing your hands removes the bacteria and viruses from your hands, whereas the gels kills the bacteria and viruses. I prefer soap and water because you're removing all bacteria and all viruses if you do it for 20 seconds and if you do it thoroughly. Now, you don't have to use super hot water to do this, but you do need to do a pretty good job on your hands. One thing we suggested for young people, for the students in our nurse's office, was sing the happy birthday song twice or the ABC song twice. That'll get you to about 20 seconds, and then rinse your hands. That does a pretty good job of removing what you need to remove. Now, the gels are also terrific too. For example, if you are in a situation where you don't have access to soap and water, which happens a lot, if you're a traveler, or if you work in a big city, if you have other instances where you just can't get to a sink all the time, that's a great alternative. So definitely use both. This is a really good opportunity to help your kids take control over their health. Before they eat, after they eat, before they go to the bathroom, after, as soon as they get home from school, as soon as they get home from a sports activity, as soon as they hop in your car, have them cleanse their hands. They should be doing this anyway. It's not an OCD thing, it's a health issue. We want to stay healthy, and that's one of the number one ways to do that. Now, they talk about not touching your face. So that's important because our eyes, nose, ears, and mouth are composed of mucous membranes, and that is just kind of a fast track for viruses to attack your system. That's why they're telling you not to touch your face. It takes a long time to form that habit, but every time you do it, you'll start catching yourself, and eventually it will become part of your habits. You won't do it as much anymore. So that's one way to take control. It's to teach your kids how to wash their hands. You do it the same, and you are doing probably one of the best things you can do to prevent getting not just COVID-19, but any cold and flu. Nothing is perfect, but this will help. The other thing I want to talk to you about is your flu shot. Now, granted, I live in the Midwest, and spring is coming. Oh my gosh, spring is coming. That usually means that we're going to see a decline in colds and flu symptoms, right? I mean, that's typically how it goes, and that's a wonderful thing. However, we're still recommending that individuals get their flu shot, and here's why. The flu is still there. If you end up with the flu, just a regular run-of-the-mill flu, which kind of stinks anyway, you're down for a couple of weeks, it's not fun, and a lot of people die from the flu. But if you find yourself with the flu, you end up going to your doctor, and you end up using healthcare resources that could be used to fight off COVID-19. And we want to make sure that you're healthy, that we keep our healthcare system vibrant and able and willing to help others who might be suffering from COVID-19, which as of now, we're still learning a lot about, but could be quite serious. So we need you healthy to keep our healthcare system healthy. The other reason we recommend still getting your flu vaccine is because if you were to get the flu, or even a cold or any other virus or bacterial infection, your immune system kind of drops and you're at risk of not being able to fight off COVID-19 like you normally would be if you were healthy. So it's kind of a twofold. We're trying to protect you. We're trying to protect the community because of that term herd immunity that we've talked about before, in which the more people who are vaccinated, the more likely it is to keep your community safe. So those who are unable to become vaccinated for whatever reason, if they're being treated for some medical issue or some autoimmune disease, they're less likely to get the infection because everybody around them has been vaccinated. So that's another reason. And plus, we don't want to overburden our already overtaxed healthcare system, who are just amazing professionals trying to get this work done, trying to help the patients and trying to figure out what's going on. So that's what you can do to take control over not only yourself, but also to help your community. The other thing is, of course, if you were to get sick, they're recommending that you have a couple of weeks worth of supplies. So a friend of mine in California texted me the other day. She was down to 2 rolls of toilet paper, ran to Costco, gone, everything. Okay, people, you don't need to hoard, and you don't need to gouge. You don't need to price gouge. There's enough for everybody. We've got to keep this under perspective. A couple of weeks worth is probably all you need, and you'll be fine. We have to look out for everybody. It's a global issue. It's not just about us, right? So stock up for a couple of weeks, have a little cash, have some food, have enough toilet paper for a couple of weeks. Wash your hands, teach your kids how to wash their hands so they can take ownership over their own health today and in the future. And get your flu shot if you haven't already gotten your vaccine. Finally, probably one of the most important things you can do, listen to science. Listen to what the public health officials are telling you. If you have personal issues like an autoimmune disease or respiratory issues, talk to your doctor if you're afraid. Sure, it's kind of fun to share ideas with your friends, but no, they don't know. It's sort of like when we talk about sex ed. Do you really want your kids learning about sex from their peers? No. Just like you don't really want to be learning about this stuff from your peers because it's all hearsay. We don't really know what's going on. We can only say what we've heard. Go to your local health department's website. Go to your physician. Utilize medically accurate, scientifically based websites as well, such as the CDC. That's where almost everybody's getting their information, and they're on top of it. They're sharing information with public health professionals. Everybody's in this together. They're figuring all this out. I know it's a scary time. I know we have a lot of reason to be afraid. We're worried about the stock markets. We're worried about small businesses surviving. We're worried. There's a lot going on right now with this coronavirus. But we need to take a deep breath. We need to do things that we can control, such as our hand washing, flu vaccine, getting information from the right sources. And we need to make sure that we stay relatively stress-free about this. We can worry about this all the time, but as everybody knows, stress is another indicator, another factor rather, in how we obtain illness. If we're always stressed, we often find that we're sick more of the time. So we want to relieve our stress as well. So talk to your friends, of course, because that's one way to relieve your stress, but we can be a little proactive in how healthy we are, right? If you have any questions about COVID-19, don't call me. Call your healthcare provider. They're the ones that know. Call your public health department or access information online, even better. So you're not holding up the phone lines if it's nothing important, if it's just information you're seeking. All right, everybody, stay well and have a wonderful afternoon. Bye-bye.